Now, what's your race, ethnicity, or nationality?
Nationality, I'm American. I'm a combination of a bunch of things. I'm like a mutt, basically. I'm Spanish, Jewish. I'm half Jewish. French, Italian, so like German, Polish. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but it's a lot of stuff.
And do you know which side of your parents you get which from?
I get, I think all of my Jewish side from my dad's side. Well, we call him my dad donor. He's like a dad donor. And then I think Spanish from him, and then the rest maybe my mom. I don't know.
And when it comes to your father, are you just using the phrase donor as like a slang terminology, or it was literally a donor?
It was literally a donor. So he's just been called my donor my whole life because I didn't consider him like a dad or a father figure. But now we've met via Zoom, and some of my siblings call him our dad. So I don't know what to call him because he's not our dad, but like he's also kind of our dad.
Care to share the backstory on that?
My mother wanted to have a child. She didn't have a partner that she was going to have a child with. She likes women for the most part. Found a donor and went with it. And here I am.
Now, how did you actually meet him? How did that opportunity even present itself?
My siblings found him. I don't know how they did it. They tracked him down. It took years. And then one day we just hopped on Zoom.
And what was that like?
It was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy because I went my whole life not anticipating ever meeting him. Never really felt the desire to, just because I didn't see it as a real possibility. And then it was crazy because I actually see like a huge resemblance. So it was pretty trippy.
Was the resemblance strictly just looks, or was it possibly mannerisms as well?
It was mostly mannerisms. I don't really think that we look alike. It was the mannerisms, it was the way that we speak, our interests, the way that he describes things is exactly how I like speak and describe things. It was uncanny, it was crazy.
Now, for time reference, it's February 2021. When did the Zoom take place?
About, I want to say like early November 2020. It's like 4 months ago.
And care to reference your age at that time?
25.
So from 0 to 25, never seen him, never met him, and you still have some of his mannerisms. Or
Yeah.
he has some of your mannerisms, however way you want to word that.
Yeah. It was like talking to myself. It was the craziest thing.
How nervous were you?
I was very nervous. I drank some wine before to try and chill out.
Did things get awkward?
No, actually. It was really natural. At first I felt odd because I didn't know who he is or how he was going to act or what his personality was like, but within like 5 minutes it was like literally talking to somebody that I've known forever.
And were your other siblings on the Zoom as well?
Not on that Zoom. They have Zoomed with him, but they haven't been on one with me, or haven't been on one with them.
Now, you mentioned your siblings have been trying to do this for a while. Were you backing this as well? Were you gung-ho about meeting your donor, or you didn't care if you never did, or what?
I didn't not care, but I didn't try to make it happen. It took a lot of time and effort and energy. So I fill my days with a bunch of things, and that wasn't on the top of my list of priorities. So I told them, if you find him, if he's cool, let me know. I'll see how I feel at the time, but I wasn't intending to find him or do any of that.
And then now, since the Zoom, what's the relationship like between you two?
Cool. We've talked here and there since. He is actually interested in like having a relationship with us and getting to know us. So the door is open, but it's been pretty chill.
And it feels organic, nothing forced.
Yeah, very organic.
Now, there may be some other people watching this that have a figure in their life that was a donor as well, whether it was their mother or father or a situation like that. Any message you would say to someone watching this that's kind of in a similar predicament as you, generally speaking?
I think one thing that I was always concerned about with my siblings was that they would find him and he wouldn't have any interest in being in contact with us. And I personally, if he didn't, I wouldn't have cared because I already have blocked that out in my mind. Like, that's not gonna happen. So I always wanted to try and, if I would talk to them or if I talked to anybody else about it, I wanted to make it very clear that I am okay with or without this person because I already have the family or the friends or the pieces of the puzzle that I need. That one person isn't going to make or break the rest of your life. If you've already come this far, you're probably going to be okay to continue on with or without them. So I don't put so much emphasis on like the role that that person could potentially play. Just be complete, and if they can add to your life, then that's great. But you're not incomplete just because they're not in your life.
Did you have any other male figures in your life as you were growing up?
Yeah. Here and there. There was never like one prominent father figure though.
And when it comes to your mother, is she a lesbian or bisexual?
She's a lesbian.
Now, do you speak any other languages aside from English?
No, I know a little bit of French. I know a little bit of Spanish, but not enough to like speak it. Like I could maybe understand, but I don't speak it.
You took a foreign language class?
Yeah.
A French class and Spanish class?
Mm-hmm.
And how many years of each?
I did Spanish for 3 years, French for 1 year, and then I like refreshed on my own for like a year between the two.
And when you did those classes in school, and was it high school?
Mm-hmm.
And what high school?
I think I took them at my first school, it was Madison.
Did you take those classes serious? Did you try to learn the language?
French, no. I fucked off. Spanish, yes, a bit. It came a little bit more naturally though, so I was more interested in it.
Why'd you F off French?
It was the first class of the day, my first year. So, first of all, I was never on time. I was late almost every single day. So I already missed the first half of the class. I didn't know what we were talking about, what was going on. And then it got to the point where I just didn't even feel like going because I didn't know what was happening or what was going on. But when I started learning it on my own time, I actually was interested in it and took it more seriously.
Did you end up passing the French class?
I can't say that I did, but I don't think that I didn't. If I did, it would be a very low pass. Very low.
And was that an elective you chose?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Hindsight, looking back, do you wish you would have taken it more serious, or?
Yeah.
Ever dated someone that spoke either French or Spanish?
I think, not really, no.
Ever visited a French or Spanish-speaking country?
Mm-hmm.
Which ones?
I've been to Mexico. I've been to Spain. I've been to France, and I've been to Belgium.
And how did your knowledge of those language hold up when you did visit those countries?
Actually, really well. It's like as soon as I'm around it, it all comes back. And then to just get around, get by, you don't need to know that much. So I was able to, for the most part, get by. And then anything else I needed to know, I would just ask and learn it on the spot.
And when you did spruce up on these languages on your own, which you just described, did you do that before visiting any of these countries, or was it more so after?
It was a little bit before and then a lot after, but also after like learning something once, as soon as you kind of get around it, what I found as soon as I'm around it, it just comes back. So I didn't really have to spruce up before. It just came back really quick as soon as I was around it.
And what was the reasoning behind the travels to each of those countries?
I love to travel. I always have an opportunity to travel, whether it's for work or I have friends that travel and I'll meet them in whatever country.